for a little bit, not so much in terms of like we wouldn't talk or anything like that or anything happened. It was just like he was doing other things in life and I was kind of just in high school and focused on my own friends and stuff like that as well. But
did you guys always have like fighting to bond over?
No, never. Like we never. I always liked like fighting, but I wasn't like any huge fighting fan. And neither was my brother. Like I'd never seen my brother even watch a boxing match before. Maybe I was like 17. I would have been 17. My brother would have been about like 25. So I was.
Shit, really?
Yeah, he's 8 years older than me.
So he hadn't like.
He didn't even train before. No, nothing before the age of 25.
Are you serious?
Yeah, nothing before the age of 25.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, bro. Like he went like ham for like a few years with the fighting, like to progress like a little bit, not quicker, but he went so hard. He was training 2 times a day in like the first 6 months that he started training. So like he went really, really hard in that first like bit of training.
So if we're looking, did you say 16?
I was 17.
17. You would have been in like the early days of the UFC then. Like
Ultimate Fighter well, it was Ultimate Fighter 1. I remember I got a like a legal DVD. Like I can't even remember how it ended up at my house. My brother's ex-girlfriend at the time, she did kickboxing and she had all these like pirated DVDs and she came across with one and it said fight on it. And I just put it into my computer and watched it and it was the first season of The Ultimate Fighter.
Right.
I was like, what the hell is this? I watched it, didn't realize what it even was. I just saw them fighting in the cage and then I didn't see it again for like another year or so. And then I saw it pop up on my TV and then I heard a commentator and he sounded Australian. I was like, we have this in Australia?
Yeah.
This is crazy. But I never thought anything of it. I just watched it and then the next week it was on again. It was a CFC show. It was run by Luke Pizzuti. The next week on Fox Sports, it was on again. And I remember my brother was sitting there and he was watching it with me. My brother back then, he used to sit back and he used to smoke his bongs and sit back and watch his shows. So he was watching it with me and he goes, oh, I could do that. I could fight
Okay, so you
guys.
say your brother used to take a couple hits.
Yeah.
Tell me you didn't.
Back then?
Yeah.
No way.
Really?
No. I honestly, I did not smoke. I didn't drink. I didn't do nothing. I do smoke weed.
Yeah.
But I didn't smoke weed until the age of probably like 23, 24.
That's surprising because if you're seeing your older brother, you know, just vibe and sesh out.
Yeah, I never. He. If I ever touched it when I was 16, 17, my brother would have beat the shit out of me. yeah. No, like it wasn't like that. Like if I touched drugs, my brother would have like beat the crap out of me. Like it wasn't something that I could do. It was something that he did, but like if I did it, like he would have lost his shit. You know, he was always very, very watchful of me. And like even when I was at that age, I was still scared to do things like that in front of him. Like it wasn't like open. It was just he could do it, and if I did it, I was gonna get my ass kicked, and all my friends were gonna get their ass kicked too.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And but until I got like old enough for myself and to make my own decisions and stuff like that, I respected the word of my brother, and no matter what he was doing, like, you know, I just still had to listen. I was still the younger brother.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So you guys are just hanging out on the couch.
Yeah, hanging out, and he was high, and he just. I actually remember it's so funny because I actually remember the fight that we were watching. It was a fight between Robert Whittaker.
Oh, really?
And I'm pretty sure it was Nick Ariel.
Yeah.
And they were fighting, and Rob Whittaker was 17 years old on TV fighting. I think he was fighting at maybe 70 kilos back then.
And so how important to you was it seeing like an Aussie there on screen fighting?
Like, I think more important for me, it was more important for my brother.
Right.
Because like something clicked in his head. He's like, I can do this. And when he heard that it was an Australian, it made it more real for him, more believable for him. You know, and then like as he was talking shit, like 1 minute later, you just see Rob knock this guy out cold. And I was like, yeah, you want to fight that guy, huh? And he goes, what, you think I can't do it? You think I can't do it? And I'm like, oh yeah, all right, let's go. Yeah. And then I had a friend who trained jiu-jitsu at Anthony Parash's gym.
Oh,
back
really?
then. Yeah, I had a friend before I trained jiu-jitsu or did anything. I had a friend who trained at Anthony Porosha's gym. He told me to come down there.
Porosh that trains Joe Belfiore now. There you go. Small world, right?
Since back then, and I had like 3 or 4 of my friends back then. I had a good friend of mine back then, Adam Celestino. He was a fighter for Anthony Porosh.
Right. Okay.
And he was like one of the first one out of the boys that like we'd seen fight MMA as well. So it was kind of like within the circle. But then when I saw it on TV, it was like a whole different thing, you know? And my friend was like, oh yeah, come down to my gym. But I didn't really want to go down to my friend's gym. One, because it was in Concord. It was a little bit further away. I wanted to go somewhere out west a bit more. So we found a gym in Granville that I found a flyer for.
Yeah.
Took my brother down there. And he got choked unconscious his first class. He got choked out. He got put to sleep. And he
put to sleep?
Yeah, he got put to sleep. The guy that put him to sleep, his name was David Jenkinson.
Yeah, I love how you remember this.
I do remember this. It was about 11, 12 years ago. His name was David Jenkinson. He was small, tiny guy. He owns a gym now in the Hawkesbury, Gracie Bar Hawkesbury. He's a black belt. He was a white belt at the time. My brother came in, even though he was on the bong, he was still juiced. This guy walks in, bigger than everyone. They put him with this small little guy, and he put him in a lapel choke.
And so at this point, are you training as well?
No, I watched the first.
You just
day.
watched.
I was like, let's see how he goes, and then I'll see if I want to jump in. He got put to sleep. I had a good laugh at it, and then we left.
So you found it funny?
I found it hilarious. So I was like, bro, see, that's what happens. We walked down. He was so distraught. He was so cut. Yeah. That someone so small could do that to him, you know. But
and
it was
there's something about getting choked out as well, where it's like the only reason you walked out of that is because you fell asleep or because you tapped out.
Well, that's right. If they kept choking, you would have died.
You would have died.
Literally.
Your life is literally in someone else's arms.
Yeah, that's why it's dangerous as well when people are training, in case someone's getting put in a choke. That the person that's choking has to understand when to let go as well. Yeah. In a situation like that. So luckily enough, he realized that he was asleep. My brother woke up with the whole class laughing, pouring some water over him, saying, "Oh, that's all right. You're going to learn from that." And I thought that was it. I thought he learned his lesson. I'm not going to hear about this fighting stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't, I used to get in a lot of fights, but I wasn't really interested in fighting in the street. In the cave.
It's interesting you say that because every fighter, almost all the fighters I've spoken to in the past kind of had a bit of a backstory in fighting. Yeah. So, Fahud, for example.
Karate.
Karate, but also got dropped at school, and that's when it really switched for him that he wanted to become a fighter. Or, Luke Jacobs spoke very much so about how he's involved in a lot of street life stuff. Do you find yourself having any kind of rough routes that kind of would have steered you towards fighting, or do you think you had it pretty smooth?
Everyone had rough routes growing up. I wouldn't say I had it rougher than anyone else. I had times in my life, my life story kind of gets thrown around a bit, but what people don't realize is there's always stages in life. There's stages in life, and it's not always going to be good for everyone throughout your whole life, So I've had rough parts, but I wouldn't say that I had a bad upbringing. I had a couple rough years, from maybe the age of 17 to about 21, 20, or maybe a bit younger, probably because I started getting into a lot of trouble when I was maybe 15. But when I say trouble, I wasn't going around and selling drugs or doing big deals or kidnapping. I wasn't doing anything
no armed robberies.
No. I've never done it. I've never done an armed robbery in my life. I don't think
I'm not
most people.
You
no, most people haven't. But I've never stolen a car. I've never been to jail. I've never been in trouble with the police. Myself. My brother has, but I haven't.
So do you think learning from his experiences then and seeing 100%. Him go probably down a route that 100%. You didn't see fit for yourself?
Yeah, without a doubt, because I'm very I was saying it before to you, I'm saying, oh, I'm a dumb cunt, I do some shit sometimes, and you were like, nah, you sound like you're pretty switched on, but I have stupid moments and I do stupid shit, I've done a lot of wrong things, there's so many times in my past where I've just done things that I regret, but I guess at the same time turned me into the person that I am. But at the same time, I think that I didn't make more mistakes because I learned from my brother's ones. He kind of took the bullet like a lot of times for that, because the same things that he did or the same things that he got caught for, like anyone could have gotten caught for, gotten in trouble with, or fallen into that line of very easily. And because we grew up in the same areas, had a lot of the same people around us, even though there was an 8-year gap, the area is still kind of the same. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't.
Oh, it's not going to change in 5 years.
Change in 5 years, you know. So I was always kind of in the same cycle.
Yeah,
I was always in the same cycle, but I guess I broke the.
If you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button, and you might also want to check out this video right here. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.